And we are live. Thank you, everybody, for Wednesday Night Fish Talk. We got a special guest tonight. It's Kenny E from Daniken Aquatics. How you doing?
Doing good. What up, fish people? How you doing tonight? Good to see you all.
Thank you for everybody watching the replay. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight and everything. How you doing tonight, Kenny?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Hanging in there like always.
Got to roll with it, right?
Happy, excited. My Bucks won, so you know.
Yeah, I bet you are excited about that. Tom Brady was a godsend, wasn't he?
Yeah. Hey, we got bragging rights for a whole year right now, so it feels good.
I guarantee you nobody's. Yeah, I got to watch it. I streamed that night, so the second half I had to have the volume all the way down, and I'm kind of peeking over there while I'm streaming, you know. But yeah, dude, that was awesome. I was actually glad to see it because Brady deserves it, man. I wanted him to get one without Belichick, you know.
Yep. Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. He made a statement. Him and Gronkowski, they made a big statement.
Yeah, Gronk was a beast that game.
Oh yeah. Rob, we're in room. How you doing, Rob? Third Coast Aquatics. How's it going?
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Now, for the people who don't know, where you at, Kenny?
I am in the great state of Oregon. I'm in the Portland area. Milwaukee, Oregon's a little suburb of Portland. I'm originally from Rockford, Illinois. That's where you hear the little Chicago twang to me. That's because I grew up in the Chicagoland. So loving it. Anytime I'm sitting here and it's 45, 50 degrees, I know what it could be like living back in Chicago. So believe me, I feel blessed. Last week we had a little Chicago weather though. I mean, it's been scary, man. I was almost out with power twice. Lights were flickering. When you got 70 tanks, you start tripping when you might lose power, you know? So we're definitely going to be on getting a generator soon.
I don't blame you. That's what we do in Florida for hurricanes. We have our generators ready.
Yeah, I got to have one, man. So we get high wind here a lot too. And I mean, when you got 200-foot tall fir trees, I mean, it's quick.
Hey, stupid people, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, Steph? Good to see you.
What's cracking, Fishy Biz?
Fishy Biz, what's up, baby? Congrats again on that 1K, Fishy Biz. Awesome job, man.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations on the 1K. I know he was excited about that one. Now, I want to talk to you first about a trip you did before the whole pandemic thing hit, and you was able to go travel. What set you off on that journey? What was the whole?
Well, it was kind of some bad things mixed in with some good. Okay, I've been killing it at the Airstream Adventures. This is a Pacific Northwest company, specializes in Airstream travel trailers. I was the sales manager there. I was there for about 8 months, doing a great job for them. But in July, they started showing me signs like they weren't, we weren't going in the right direction. So the minute I started figuring out that they weren't exactly happy and I wasn't exactly happy, I started plotting. So I wanted to go see my parents anyway. So what I did was I started mapping it out. Who's between all these destinations I planned to go. So my first stop was redfish, bluefish up in Willoughby Island up in Washington up here. You guys have probably seen his streams. He opened up a fish store up there. He didn't even have his fish store when I was there. But that was my first stop. And then from there, I plotted to go over to see Candy Overhauls. That's who I saw next. And then I slid over to Dan's Fish. And then I was going to see Punchy Pace, but we got lost in this park. And it's so funny, dude. We both ended up going to the same park. And we couldn't find each other. So then when she gets back home, she's going through these videos. And she showed me the video, and there's my truck in the back. I said, "You were staring right at me, Pam." She had a video of my truck. So anyway, I was disappointed that happened. And then I went from there straight over to see Priscilla, MK Arts over in Colorado. And then I took off from there, and that's when I headed for I was on my way to Iowa. I got diverted, had to spend the night in Nebraska because of tornadoes. And And then I start off again the next day, get to about, it was about on the Iowa border. More this time I was in Des Moines, major tornadoes. I'm watching semi trucks being flipped on the highway. Dude, I blasted into about 120, got out of there, stayed the night at my mom's house in Rockford, Illinois for one night. Because I was planning on seeing her anyway, but it wasn't until later. So I stayed there one night just to get away from the storms, and I headed from my mom's up to see, well, while in Rockford, I did shoot Michelle's Fish Store, which is a little family mom and pop store right there in Rockford. Then I jetted from there, went over and saw Peplin Creek Aquatics over in Wisconsin. Then I went up with my dad. We had a good time fishing and whatnot. Came down, saw my mom, did a few more fishy-like type things, and then I went from my mom's over to Iowa to see Cody's son. And then from Cody's son, I went up and spent 3 days with LRB Aquatics, which that was my favorite. That guy was awesome. You know, he's an amazing dude. And I went from LRB down to Kentucky, saw Griffin Fish Room. I went from Griffin's down to Nashville, saw Catfish Carry. Then from Nashville, I went over and met up with James from Fish Room Fever and Ed from Chattanooga Ed. And we all three hopped in my truck and we went down to Father Fish in Florida. So that was an amazing time. We had a blast. We went wild fish collecting down there and all kinds of cool stuff. Ed still got these cool mollies we got from there. And then from there, we went over back to Ed's. I met a bunch more like Bob Kaler, SLC, Susan SLC Aquatics, and Rob with Aquatic Aesthetics. I mean, it was just amazing. Met all those people. And then from there, I took off for Arkansas, stayed at my aunt's hot place for another 3 days. And then from there, I went down and saw mains, tails, spurs, and fins down in Louisiana. Good old Jess. She took me horseback riding, all kinds of cool stuff. Got to shoot all of her fish rooms and whatnot. And then from there, I went over to the Cichlid Shack in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that place was amazing, man. And then from there, I went to Big J's, fish keeping in California. And then from Big J's, I jetted back up home. Now, in California, I was going to go see Aqua Balls and Anthony Fishy Friends, but LA was completely burning out. There was fires everywhere when I was going through California. I barely made it home myself, dude. I mean, I literally went through hurricanes, tornadoes, and fires. I mean, only thing I didn't have in the mix was earthquakes, but I had everything else on the radar. But it was an amazing trip, man. But the reason I was able to put it all together, I was already planning on going home, and COVID had started when I took off. So I didn't trust an airplane. That's why I did what I did. And I said, well, hell, if I'm going to see my parents, I might as well make a fish cam tour while I'm at it, take a long way around. And that's what I did. So
that was a real long way around.
Oh, dude, it was 98, almost 90. It was 97 something 100 miles. And I mean, it was a 36-day trip, just an amazing time. And like I said, to be able to meet all those people in person and stuff, I mean, it was amazing. It was great. What's up, Joe? Kingtopia? Oh, there's mains, tails, spurs, and fin. I was just talking about her.
Yes, and we got Joseph.
What's up, Joe? Semper Fi, Devil Dog.
Oh, yeah, you were in the service. What branch were you in?
I was in United States Marine Corps.
Okay, Devil Dog, too. Another Devil Dog.
Yes, sir.
I was an airman.
Nice.
I took a different route. Now, how many tanks you got right now?
We have
up and running
69. We just took down 2 or 3 last week and we're redoing them. But our ending goal will have probably 100 when we're done. We're getting ready to start the cold water room here soon. We're going to basically, because it's a pain when you're, changing tank water where you got to go in and change the temp for each tank. So I'm going to put all the ones that are cold water in one room. So we do that room. We don't have to be messing with readjusting temps and all that each tank. And then in the next room over is going to be like all my, mid-range 75 to 78. Then I'm going to have a room with all 80s. But my ending goal is 90% of them are going to be down in the lower level. And then up here, I'll always have this one behind me because this one behind me, this one is dual 135. And it's built right into the wall is what it is. But
that's nice.
That one ain't going nowhere. That's going to stay right here. But
that's permanent right now.
yeah, that one's there for a while. If I ever sell the place, I'll have to, you know, put a wall back in here and take them out.
Or sell it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, if I sell it to a fishy person, they might be down for it. But
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to get on. I'm almost to 100 right now. I got 50 set up. I got 27 just sitting there that I got to put together. In 1 month, I ended up getting 27 free tanks for free. So now I got to start setting everything up.
Yeah, like I said, the main issue that we've been having, and the reason we are on the holding pattern for the additional ones, and then you might run into the same problem, is, you know, your standard house isn't set up to carry this kind of electricity, if you know what I mean. So what will end up happening to you, what has happened to us is, especially the way I think they jerry-rigged it, man. There's parts of it. Hold on, one second. These dogs bark at the drop of a dime sometimes. But anyway, what happened is we started kicking breakers, you know. So you get too many rooms going, then you start kicking breakers. It's a problem. So now and when we were doing this originally, so anyway, we had to reinvent ourselves and do things with a little less electricity in mind. So we're going to put the whole house on one standard air pump, which is going to eliminate a ton of, you know, individual pumps. And then we also plan to heat the rooms versus trying to heat each individual tank, which has been killing us. I mean, that's the part. My average electric bill in the winter is $700, to give you an idea how much electricity we're juicing. So.
Oh yeah. What I did, I got a central pump, and I set up that central pump on its separate breaker because I have my garage set up. So the central pump is one breaker, and then my lights are on 2 other breakers. So I put 3 brand new breakers on my box, and half of my garage runs the lights over there off one breaker. The other half runs the other lights.
Are you an electrician or something, or did you have a friend?
No, my dad was an electrician, so I learned as a child, and you know, he came and helped me one day when we was setting stuff up, and we just set up all the breakers differently.
Yeah, see, I don't have any licenses or stuff, and you know, it's not a problem till you go to sell, and I was tempted to go that route, but then my wife, you know, kind of had an idea. If the house burned down, then the insurance company figured out we had stuff that we did ourselves in here, we'd have a problem. So I brought an electrician in. He's not willing to add extra breakers. He's trying to tell me in the state of Oregon, the laws say we have to get a second address for our property in order for it to add another box. So that's been the one limitation we've had. I mean, trust me, I was half tempted to do what you did, but the Danny part of Daniken's wasn't down with that. She wants us to do things legit. So if there was ever a problem, but I told her, I said, it's not like we have on our insurance policy that we have 70 tanks in this house either. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they have a problem with that if you total them it. So
that's the other reason why I did it in the garage. If anything happens in the garage, water, any damage, anything like that, it's in the garage.
We got them on hardwood floor. I've got probably 25 to 30 tanks upstairs and another 35 to 40 tanks downstairs. So downstairs ones, I don't sweat. It's concrete, you know, but these upstairs ones, every time we have a little mishaps, which I don't care how good a fish keeper you are, you get to doing too many things at once, you always end up that overflow problem. And when it happens up here, I just freak out, man, because on these hardwood floors, it's going to play hell on them, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got a question. Fishy Biz wants to know, what's your favorite fish?
That is simple, guys. It's these guys right here. It's the Paratilapia bleaker eye. Those guys right there. These ones are I've got these ones where they're breeding now. They ate the first. Oh, he's got to come up and say hello now. The first 2 batches, they ate the eggs, but this next batch I plan on. Yeah, he's letting us know he don't like us hanging out here. Actually, that's the female, but they're a Madagascar cichlid. Very, very cool. These are very similar to the Pollini. A lot of people think that the Pollini and the Bleakeri are the same species. That's not true in any shape, way, or form. They want to categorize them all as the same fish. There is definite distinct differences between the two. But that is by far my favorite fish in the house. So, but it would be followed closely by the discus. And then, yeah, we've got discus as well. And then I also have mud skippers. They're on my top list as well. And then, of course, the babies behind me. Almost all these ones in my tank. It's hard to ask a fish keeper which one's their favorite because, I mean, every tank has its own unique stuff to it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You asked my wife the same question. Go ahead.
How long you been in the hobby?
I've been keeping fish since I was probably 11 years old, and I'm 52 now. So as far as seriously in the hobby, Danny and I started our addiction when we were in Hawaii while I was still in the Marine Corps in Kaneohe Bay. And we had probably 20 tanks over there. I was actively breeding longfin, rosy barbs. We were doing powder blue gouramis, Oscars, and Coriodoras. Back then, bronze and albino were like the shiznick. Everybody wanted them, and that's what we specialized in, was the Coriodoras.
They want to know you're going to sell any of your discus.
No, not yet, man. We've got a breeding pair. The problem is I have to get an RO hooked up here. Our water coming out of the taps like rock at 7.8 to 8.0 coming right out of the tap. So we're going to get an RO, get the water softened a little bit for them, and then put them in their own tank. Also in that tank, there's a loach and a few other things. I mean, they lay eggs probably twice a month. It's just that I don't believe that it's soft enough to get them to hatch.
Mm-hmm.
But if we ever do, yes, we will sell it. The ones that we have breeding are the blue diamonds.
Biz wants to know what you will be doing if you wasn't keeping fish.
What would I'd probably be in jail, Biz.
Nah.
I actively still, you know, I'm a sportsman. I love fishing, outdoorsy type stuff, camping, all that kind of stuff is probably what we'll be doing. I'd probably do like I do now, selling cars. But my wife's, we're kind of rock hounds too. She's got the rock polishing machines and stuff like that. And so I'm sure we'd be doing something of that nature. You know, something outdoorsy would be our deal. Now I'll say after as deep as we are into this now, I mean, we'd probably travel a little more. I mean, before we really got crazy with this, we've been to Costa Rica, we've been to Aruba, we've been to Belize. I mean, we've been all over that region down there. Of course, we did all this before we got serious the biz. We really got serious like the last 10 years.
Now, are you breeding anything for profit right now?
We do have lines of guppies that we breed. We have like 9 lines of shrimp. I do a lot of the cichlids. Some we're doing for local fish stores. I don't like to ship too many of the cichlids because they're so pokey and thin, you know. But we do have an electric blue acara. I've got Rio Candelaria salvinis, Honduran red points. What else do we got down there? I do multiple African cichlids, mouth brooder types, dragon bloods, yellow labs, red zebras, and then from Lake Victoria we've got the what do we got from that? There I've slowed down lately because the market has. Then Lake Daniken we're doing the black calvus, a couple others. So
I like the calvus. Those are beautiful.
They're gorgeous fish. And then we do shell dwellers as well. We got the stimulus. I think I got everything. Oh, we got lemnias. Like I said, we got a little bit of everything. I do it more, you know, we never, I think I wouldn't class us as breeders as much so as hobbyists. You know, we're still more on the hobbyist side. Like Danny right now has got pounds and pounds of cherry shrimp, but she's a hoarder, dude. She don't want any of them to go. So I finally
I need cherry shrimp.
I'm telling you, dude, she's a hoarder with them. We
That's your
have
favorite
cherries,
shrimp.
we have yellows, we got oranges, we got jades, we've got blue dreams, blue sapphires. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Bloody Marys. There, Amano. I'm trying to remember. We got a bunch of lines down there. And then
That's what I
our
want to do this summer. I want to do a couple different lines of shrimp outside.
shrimps, I'm telling you, dude, they're pretty easy, really. Just
I
pretty
done
much,
yeah.
pretty much feed them and watch them grow. That's all those things are, man. Make sure
Oh
you're
yeah.
water. Biggest mistake people make with shrimp is they put it in a non-season. You gotta make sure your tank's good in season, and as long as after that tank season, they'll do fine. So,
Oh yeah. I've done them inside before, and I just did a tank and threw a whole bunch of anacris in there and just let them explode, and that's what happens. Now I want to do it outside.
now you're in Florida, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I would be fearful. I mean, your temps get up there, don't they?
Oh yeah. But like my family, we got a property and everything, and they have done shrimp outside too, and a lot of people do them out here outside. You just gotta have a good shaded area. Don't have them like just direct, in the sun. Have them in a good shaded area, and they do well and everything. So
I imagine you
talk
get
about-
some mass quantities doing that. I'm sure.
oh yeah,
Lots of shrimp.
and they look nicer because they get that good sunlight. Their colors really come out on them. That's why I
Right.
like doing fish outside, because their colors are amazing when you breed outside. Now you're saying
Fish-
you're doing this more in the hobby side. Are you involved in any clubs in your area?
I am a member of Greater Portland Aquarium Society. As a matter of fact, this next year I'm probably going to run for president. They've had a few of them asked me to run, so that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm pretty active in that club in the past. Since I've been doing YouTube, I'm probably not as active as I once was. Anybody who does YouTube knows, I mean, this is almost like a second full-time job in itself. But I tell you, fish clubs are where it's at. I mean, for one, it puts you in front of a lot of seasoned people that have been doing this a long time. Then as far as fish, if you're a fish addict like we are, I mean, the stuff that ends up coming to your baths and whatnot. I mean, I've got some super cool, super rare fish from that club.
Oh yeah. You get to get with a lot of different people, and everybody does something a little bit different at that time, and you get to see a different variety and actually learn a lot. That's why I think it's pretty cool about the clubs and everything.
Well, yeah,
and the whole social media.
Right. What's nice about most clubs, the average meeting, first they start with a guest speaker, and these clubs can't show profit. So all the money they bring in from these auctions they're doing, they have to spend it. So they don't mind spending money to bring, let's say, like in our club's case, we've had LRB, Rachel O'Leary, Corey, and then we've also had Rusty Westall, just to name a few. I mean, huge name fish people coming in, giving us, an hour or two of their time. And I mean, it really gives you super, super cool stuff.
Well, we got a couple questions on the chat. We're a little behind, but what's your favorite tank size to work with, stock and aquascape?
Okay, myself personally, because there's going to be a two-part answer, fishing, because there's two parts of Daniken Aquatics, okay? On my side, my favorite would be probably a 135. The reason I say that, I like to keep bigger cichlids. And generally, I like to put a nice rockscape in there. I kind of gotta go easy on the plants. Most of the time, it's just what you see here above my head, man. It's just either frog bait or it's going to be some water lettuce. That's all I've got for plants. And that's what I work. Now, Danny, she's into the scapes. I would say her favorite platform would most likely be a 75 is what her favorite is. And she tends to do a lot more of the wood and a lot more heavily planted type tanks. Although she did, I tell you right now, she did take over my 240 before I had a chance to stock it. So now she's taking that over. But I like the discus we put in there too. But the 240, I had different plans for that when I originally got it. I wanted a silver arowana. I was probably going to put a shovel nose or two in there. And then she came up with the idea for the discus, which looking at it now, I'm glad we went that route because the pig turned out awesome. And we're able to put more discus as well as other, like I got Denizen barbs and whatnot in there. So that tank turned out awesome.
That was a very good political answer, President. There you go. Whatever the wife does always turns out great.
Yeah.
One.
Joe, now, I would say my favorite part of the Marine Corps, brother, was the bonds I made with the fellow Marines, dude. It's a bond that you'll never forget the rest of your life, man. That's why I say you're my brother that never ends. That's one thing I love about the Marines, man.
Kenny E for president.
Yeah, yeah. It's only a 2-year term, man, and I've served other positions. I was VP at large or whatever. I'd go around and help get the speakers, and then promote the club. I used my channel for the first year or so. I really used my channel to promote us. Nowadays, not as much as I used to. I'm starting to find it. I had a couple live streams from it, and people were getting upset because they thought they could bid on the fish that I was showing, So rather than get people upset, I just stopped showing it live from our club meetings because we did have quite a few people, sending me, hey, why would you tease us with an auction and then not let us participate? So I'm like, okay, I won't do that to you guys again, But
oh yeah. Now in your area, what's a popular fish you guys be summer tubbing that people like to do outside for the summer? Is that even popular in your area?
Our area is somewhat popular, but our season is so short. You guys got to understand, it rains heavily from starts in about October, and we don't see nice weather again for the following June. In between, it's solid, rainy, 40, 50-degree weather. So summer tubbing is not really a big thing here. Like in my case, we use tubs mostly for feeder, feeder type stuff. Mosquito larvae, daffodil, scuds, that kind of stuff. But the guys that are doing it, they're doing just like anybody else around the country. They're doing guppies. They're doing, I've seen some people do beta fish, that kind of stuff. If I had a perfect world, I'd be down like in a place where you're at, or Southern Cal, where I could have a year-round pond. And then I'm telling you, I'd go all out, dude. I'd be digging a nice deep one, and I'd be making me a simulated African rift tank, dude. Just an African rift. I could hop in there and be swimming with Africans, dude, is what I would do.
Yeah, having ponds year round is amazing. That's what I enjoy about the good Florida weather and all the crazy stuff you'll find out there.
I don't know if it was a guy who was in Arizona. I saw this video, and it's been so long I forgot which YouTuber it was, but they did show this video. This dude made an African rift lake in his backyard with waterfalls and stuff, dude. It was so amazing. You'd go in, and it was like you were swimming in Lake Malawi, man. It was just awesome. I cannot remember the YouTuber's name, dude, but it was awesome to watch.
Now, is there a fish that you haven't had yet that you want to get?
Stingrays. We want to do freshwater stingrays. And I've been pricing out. We got, I know I can get away with probably 12 and a half, maybe 14 foot long by 8 foot wide by 4 foot deep in my basement. I got one spot left where I could, and I can still put tanks around, so I ain't losing none of my tank space. But it's still gotta be, where you can be comfortable down there. So I've already picked it out. I got the inspiration from Lori Monster Fish Gal and Catfish Nation. They got a similar deal set up in their fish room where they got the pond in the middle and all these big tanks all the way around. That's kind of what got my brain clicking. So I blame it on them, dude. I'm getting stingrays because Monster Fish Gal and her husband gave me the idea now where I could actually fit the pond inside the house.
Any specific stingray?
No, dude, I like them all, man. As long as I'm gonna buy them. No, I have no interest in breeding. Again, dude, it's the hobbyist, man. I do stuff because it's cool. I just picture me laying in that pool with them, man, letting them swim all around me and stuff. That would be so cool.
You're gonna jump in there with them.
Absolutely. Why would you have them if you aren't willing to do that? But I'll wear, to be safe, I don't want to be a Steve Irwin, man. I'll put a chest plate or something on. I don't want to get, you know.
I was about to tell you, you're going to get like Steve Irwin. Your channel's going to blow up after that happens.
Yeah. Well, at least Danny will get something for it, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Would you just do just stingrays, or you'll have some other fish with them in there?
I think I could get away with an arowana or two in there too, because you know the stingrays stay mostly on the bottom. But my main goal first, because you got to keep the water so spot on with those things. I'd probably just run with the stingrays until I know they're okay and I've got them maintained well. Then maybe add another one later.
They tell you just don't pull out the bar about Kenny.
Yeah, just leave it in there. Like I said,
Yeah,
Biz, black diamonds, I don't care, dude. I love them all, man. They're really cool.
I know. I watched when Joey built his for his stingrays with his arowana, and I thought that was a pretty cool combination.
Yeah,
you know,
Joey's
like
got
a cool
one.
Work.
The other one that was cool is the one that Ohio Fish Rescue recently done. Josh and them, they got a real shallow one, little pool on them one. I don't know if you've seen that video that they did. They just recently transferred them all into there. It's more shallow so they can see them better. So,
How many they had in that one?
Oh God, dude, they got at least 10 of them, full size, big ones. Well, I don't think Ohio Fish. Well, I should say that they've been getting smaller stuff in of late, but usually if you hear Ohio Fish Rescue, you know it's something big. That's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one regret I had on that trip. When I was at LRB, I got to. Oh, I forgot. God, how could I forget her? Haley with Oddball Aquatics was at LRB's when I was there, so I got to meet her as well. But she wanted me to hop in the car. She was going to hop in my truck. She wanted to take me to Ohio Fish Rescue. And I was on, you know, I was supposed to be at Father Fishes at a certain date. And now the only thing I wish is I would have called him and say, hey, is it okay if I come a few days later? I have an opportunity to go film Ohio Fish Rescue. I wish I would have done it now. Because I ended up home like 7 full days before I needed to be. So that's the one big regret is that I didn't get to see Ohio Fish Rescue. You know what, Fishy Biz, they go up and down, man. They have ever since I've been in the hobby. About the time you start getting rid of all your Africans because you're not selling them, next thing you know, all your stores will be calling you, hey, you got any more of those? It's like this, dude. I mean, African cichlids go up and down, but they never go away. Never. How is the salt? Portland's, we've got a couple of saltwater stores, Joe. I think a lot of guys are pulling out of it because it is, you know, a select few people that keep them. But we do have All Things Aquarium here in Portland. They specialize in salt. That's what they do.
Oh, there's so many saltwater stores out here. It's crazy the amount of saltwater that people do down here in Florida.
Oh, believe me, when Danny and I lived in Hawaii, we did a saltwater tank there, but we didn't know what we were doing, Royal. I mean, Christ, we would go down to Pearl Harbor, grab 20 buckets of salt and go dump it in our tank. That's how we did a water change, Probably, anybody that does saltwater probably like, are you crazy? We had a 2.5, 3 foot more eel in there, and Super Bowl Sunday I was cleaning the tank, wasn't paying attention. That sucker latched down on me. I still got a scar from him, but it took my wife and I 10 minutes of trying to get those things. When they latch down, they don't let loose, man. Those more eels. So after that happened, man, he went down. I put him back in the water, and we broke that saltwater down. I was done with it after that. But the closest thing we have to saltwater is those mud skippers. We have a brackish water with mud skippers and night gobies in it. Those night gobies are cool. I like those.
Oh yeah. Anthony's saying they paid $100 for a tiny yellow tank. They're the saltwater stuff. They're not importing right now from Hawaii. Hawaii just shut down again, so that's a big thing in the saltwater industry. Every time Hawaii shuts down,
But you know what? That's why Hawaii is able to sustain it in the whole. The Hawaiian people are very, very good about protecting their resources. They will not allow you to overfish. They will not allow you to destroy their natural environment. You know, I mean, they're tripping because of all the plecos that have been illegally, you know, turned loose in there. But they're trying to address the issue. Kind of like Florida. They want to keep their waters pure and keep the fish that are there sustained. They don't want them to, you know, be destroyed.
But they're doing a better job than us because Florida is the fish farm capital of America, and so much different situations happen down here, from people letting them loose to hurricanes. Next thing you know, ponds are flooding and water, you know, the fish are getting into local areas. There's ponds out here with Oscars. You'll find other ponds just full of viejas, you know, snakeheads. I mean, so many different types of invasive
I tell you what, though, dude, if you're a cichlid keeper, you're probably thinking that's cool, man. Go down and catch yourself a couple of beautiful vieja. I mean, I just bring, for a fish keeper, I'd be bringing them back, throwing them in a 300-gallon, calling it good. But I can understand where cichlids are probably the most damage to an environment. The snakeheads, especially, those things are horrible. I've kept those. I did keep those in Hawaii, and I know how aggressive those things are. They are voracious hunters and eaters.
Now, talking about invasive species, especially down here, I did a video talking about arapaima that they found in a river in Florida. Do you like arapaimas?
They're a cool fish, but they don't belong in the hobby, in my opinion. Just for the reason you just said. Okay, here goes mom and pop. They go to a fish store where the guys are very irresponsible, can tell they're first timers, doesn't take the time to tell them, hey, this fish is going to get 6 feet long. Next thing you know, it's 2 feet long. And they got themselves 100-gallon. The thing can't even turn around. So rather than be responsible and take it to a fish store, they throw it in the local river, and that's how it begins. What that does to us, the ones that are responsible fish keepers, it ruins it for us, So then they stop letting us have something that's borderline close to that, like a snakehead or a silver arowana. Like there's parts up here you can't keep silver arowanas. Why, I don't know. I mean, our water would never allow it to live, But even up here, we have issues with irresponsible. Listen, if you're new to this hobby and you're in this chat tonight, if you ever have a fish you do not want, go to your local fish store. They will find a way for you to get rid of it. If they won't take it, they'll tell you someone that will. I mean, that's what kills the hobby, is when you get irresponsible people throwing fish in local waters.
And to add on to that, we have such a big platform now called social media that even if you don't have a YouTube channel, you have a Facebook page. Most people got an Instagram. Put it on your local groups or whatever. Hey, I'm trying to get rid of this fish. Contact me. There's so many different ways you could try to get rid of that fish and just give it away instead of just throwing it, in the local areas.
Ooh, boy, business bringing some weird questions tonight. So if there was a fight, no running away, arapaima or alligator gar. I put my money on the alligator gar. Those things are vicious.
I put my money on the arapaima. We've been having that conversation. Yeah.
Nah, dude. I think the alligator gar, with the rows of teeth and the ferociousness of it, I mean, the arapaima's got size, but so does the gar, man. That alligator gar can get, what, 5.5, 6 feet?
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. And it's called an alligator gar for a reason. I mean, it opens its mouth, it's full of teeth. The arapaima's mouth's more made for crustaceans and whatnot, so it has no teeth. I think if that alligator gar clamped down on that arapaima 2 or 3 times, that arapaima's going to say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm out. I mean, I really do.
You don't think that arapaima will try to swallow that gar?
Nah. It's too big, bro. It's 5 foot. If they're both 6, I guess he didn't. Okay, if it's a 2-foot gar and a 6-foot arapaima, okay, great. But if we're talking size for size, I think the alligator gar would take him out. If you're in Florida, have you ever fished for him?
Huh?
Have you ever fished for him? I mean, you're in Florida. They got them down there.
Oh yeah, you catch them all the time, but you will not catch a 5-6 foot alligator gar that often. I mean, they've been so overfished that you don't see those big monsters anymore. That's the way
Right.
I look at it. The Arapaima will win that battle in the wild right now here in Florida for
Because
me,
they're
because the regular alligator guards don't get that big, and the Arapaima will get, the one they found was 5.5 foot already, you know,
right.
and they could get up to 8, 10 feet.
I gotta say it, alligator gar, bro.
I don't care what you say, Biz. Shut up.
So I guess he chose alligator gar.
Yeah, he chose alligator guard. And he commented on my thing, was like, we started that when I released the video. He was like, I think the car will win that. I was like, I don't think so, but
Anthony
hey,
says full grown
I
to
think
full
that
grown.
they're faster, they're big.
Anthony says a full grown 12-footer would swallow the gar. Oh no, Anthony. It's still gonna be a 6-foot gar. They're not gonna swallow it, bro. It's too big around and it's too long. They eat it. The only thing I would know to even try is a gulper cat. That's it. Most fish have got sense. They don't want to take something in that they'll choke on. The only one that has no sense. If you want to see those, Monster Fish Gal and Catfish Nation, both they have the gulper cats. You can see what I'm talking about. Those things are vicious, man. They're the only thing I know that believe fish bigger than them.
Look, he's trying to start a fight club. Better or goldfish? One has to go. Choose one.
He's funny, dude. Better goldfish. I'm going with the goldfish. It's out of size, man. He'll suck them up in one swoop, man. It's over.
And they'll eat anything.
Yeah, goldfish don't care. If it's meat, they're swallowing it.
Oh yeah. Now, he threw me off track. I had a question for you too, and everything.
This has a habit of throwing us off track, man.
Yeah, he throws us track. He's over here trying to start a fish fight club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, oh yeah, when you was in Florida and you was down here collecting, what was your favorite fish you collected?
The golden top minnows were cool, but my one I went after that we didn't catch any on this trip. What I was really after were the pygmy sunfish. Is what I wanted, but we just didn't get any. You know, the area, I don't know if it was the areas we were in, we just tapped out none of those. But we did get some of those darters. We got golden top minnows. We got gambusia. You guys, what's that killifish you guys got down there? There's some little killifish we caught too. They were pretty cool. But my favorite of all was we went into, this was interesting. We went into this on day 2. First day we were in these weird ponds and stuff. The second day he took us to this hot mineralized stream. The water was like almost 100 degrees, right? And I couldn't believe any fish would even live in it. And these beautiful little green sailfin mollies were in there. So we caught some of those, and they weren't doing too well. I think the water had peaked on oxygen level, you know, depleted. So we lost quite a few, but Ed was able, we got 8 or 9 of them to survive, took those back to Ed's. Thank you, GRB. You're absolutely right. At least killifish, yeah. And then Ed was able to take those 8, and he has now got a sustainable little population of tank-raised green mollies from those, which he's sending me some, which I can't wait because they really are cool little molly. And I don't usually get excited about the little, you know, the little fish, but when I was on my trip, Danny got really into the guppies. And while on my trip, I got to meet a lot of people keeping guppies, and they kind of got me hooked on them while I was out there because I got to see how cool they really are. I didn't realize there were so many strains of them. You know, I just guppies, you know, but that's how we ended up with guppies now. I mean, now I've got lots and lots of guppies.
It happens with guppies. They breed very easily.
Well, they're cool looking. I mean, they really are cool, the differences in them.
Yeah, my favorite to catch out here are always the sailfin mollies. I love the way the sailfin mollies look. And I always thought about crossing those in with some of my regular mollies one day and try to play with some of the color variations to get them that size as the wild ones with the big sailfin.
Yeah, Hawaii's got, I mean, their little streams. I don't think those are wild, though. I think they were planted by humans, but they got some gorgeous sailfins in their streams too.
Now, what's your favorite line of guppies right now?
The ones we have in the house right now would probably be the ones we got from Aquarium Co-op, the Vienna line. They're called Vienna guppies. They are cool. Bright little orange fish with these crazy leopard patterns all over them. Real, real cool.
Fishy Biz, new guppy, food coming. Guppy fancy feast. Now, yeah, I mean, is there any other live bears you would?
We have the least killifish. We have lineas. I think I got both trident and humpback tigers or something they're called. Numerous types of endlers. And then I want to say 8 to 10 different lines of guppies.
No swordtails?
No swordtails yet. We've had a couple that we've been looking at, but we just haven't found. My wife likes the giant ones that you can get.
Okay, green giant ones?
Yeah, those great big ones you can get. They're cool.
Yeah, I love swordtails. I got like 6 different lines right now.
Yeah, closest thing I've got to her say I've got Lucas and Brett's double sword endlers that are cool. I like those. But other than that, nothing in a sword. I'm not saying we won't have. I mean, we look for them, but when we're getting limited again on tank space. So I mean, even though we have the amount of tanks, we have them all full. So I mean, it's like we got to start thinking. Okay, we want another line. Now it's another tank. You know. And we're always tank space is always the premium here. I mean, that's kind of the.
What's the average size you have?
I think it's going to average out to probably 55 to 60 gallons. We have numerous 10s, tons of 20s, tons of 30s. I'd say 6 or so 75s, a bunch of 55s, a bunch of 135s, and then I've got a 220, a couple of different 100 tall type versions. So we've got a pretty good mix. I'm a fan of the bigger tanks because it makes your life, when you're dealing with cichlids, I mean, the bigger the better, you know? It just makes life a little easier for you. They need their space or they kill each other.
Now, what's your opinion on hybrids?
I'm not a person that gets flipped out by it because I've seen some beautiful hybrids along the way. Plus, you know, people spaz on hybrids, but I hate to tell you, there's hybridization that goes on in the wild even. I mean, sometimes you just can't help it. 2 people love each other. That's the way it is, man, you know. The green terrier don't carry his mate with the jacket. He's just looking for love. So I'm not one that trips out on it personally. I know a purist, they freak out, but like I said, it happens in the wild, you know. Am I somebody that actively pursues doing it? No. But do I like what I see sometimes? Yes.
Yeah, because I'm working on Jaguars with a Jack Dempsey.
Yeah, those are the blue Jaguars of yours, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to be blue, so I'm going to be working. I mean, it's going to be a long project, but it's just a little project that I want to experiment with, and they're doing real nice. Your Oscar's over there lip locking. They're falling in love right now.
These 2, they always do it, man. The pair is one that was in this tank next to it. I had them actually right before I went on the fish tour. They destroyed a bunch of fish in this tank behind me. I had another beautiful tiger Oscar in here. They killed him, and we're starting to work on the albino. When I saw him, and I went ahead and moved him over. But he then went on, when I was on my trip, destroyed the female, chewed her lips almost off. So I had to separate them, and he's probably going to end up being traded for another Oscar because he's just too ornery, and I don't think he's ever going to be compatible with anything.
You're going to try to, would you get another albino?
I probably would because I don't like, this one he's got good colors, but I don't like the shape of him as much. I would like to get PA. I almost snatched her an albino last week, but I ended up changing my mind. it's going to have to be the right fish.
Have you seen the longfin Oscars now?
I don't like them, man.
You don't like them?
I don't like those, no.
Why?
An Oscar's supposed to be burly, dude. You know, don't try making it all prissy and you know, it's a burly, mean, nasty, sickly. Let's keep it that way. Now, I do like there is that one pork I've seen. Somebody kind of got a blue color on them. You know, it's almost like a bluish tint. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Big J, what up, brother?
Yeah.
What's up,
a few people coming in. Big J, Aqua Balls, Peplin.
My boy Brian. Peplin Creek is the place I stopped in Wisconsin. He has a cool fish room.
Now, if you got to pick out of everybody you saw, which one was your favorite fish room? Which one was it?
Brother, I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling, but I think anybody that would compare, LRB by far. I mean, he had 300 tanks in his house. I'll put it this way, Royal. Usually I don't get the shakes when I'm filming, and I could have filmed the whole first day. Because first off, you're in LRB's house. You know, you're in Shrimp Jesus's house. You know, so it took me a day just to recover from the factor. You know, then you settle down. But I mean, plus, I mean, he just has such a huge collection. I mean, it's just amazing. Those rainbow fish he has are absolutely off the charts. I mean, not to take anything away from the places I saw, but I think they would know LRB. Yeah. But I would say LRB and Dan's Fish are right there because Dan's Fish was amazing too.
He got some pretty nice sized fish room too.
Oh, dude, and every one of his tanks are pristine. Dan's Fish. I mean, he keeps a pretty tight ship there.
Oh, you have to. When you have many tanks, you run that many tanks. It takes a lot of work. You know, you already got 50. You're on your way to catching an LRB now.
Right. Oh no, LRB. I'll never have more to him because I always have to have somebody say I'm normal. You know, hey, I got to be normal. Look at LRB's got 300. I'm good. I only got 70. I'm good.
You're not that bad. It could be worse.
Right.
Longfin Oscars are beautiful.
Yeah, I understand it. Everybody's got their opinion. It's just not my thing. That's all. I know people love them. I just don't dig them. But I'm an old school guy, dude. We didn't have a thing called a longfin Oscar when I was growing up, you know?
Yeah. Now, you know, they playing a lot with the fish and everything, trying to bring out more colors and more fins to them. So, and everybody has their opinion, you know.
Right.
Certain people like low bed. Some people don't.
I'm not trying to take away from your love of them. Trust me. I mean, I was asked an honest question. I'm going to give you an honest answer. That's the way I am, bro.
Big Tank Hank, how you doing?
What up, Big Tank?
If you only could choose one tank in your whole house to keep, which one would it be?
240.
The 240?
Yep.
Now your wife, which one would she keep?
240. That's our favorite. If you're talking about layout, that's the favorite tank in that. As far as overall, not necessarily the fish that's in it, that's our overall favorite tank in the house.
Now, when you got with her, was she into the hobby too, or did you kind of rubbed on to her?
She had her own dealings with the fish hobby before me, and then, you know, I had it as well. But when you're in the Marines, I mean, there's not a lot to do when you're in your downtime. We did a lot of fishing and whatnot, but we were able to, that's where we really got our hobby going. Then we went from there to Illinois, and we got even bigger with the hobby. And then once we moved here is when it really got back to the kids. Once my kids all reached, you know, they're out of the house. Now we got the empty house syndrome. Why not fill it with fish tanks? And that's when things started really going crazy. But we're equally. There's nobody
what do the people think about
none of us say no to each other at all. I mean, if I was to say right now, hey, I found this. What do you think? Yeah, let's get them. We never say no. That's the problem. Neither one of us say no.
Now, what do the kids think about them being replaced with 50 tanks?
What's that now?
What do your kids think about you guys? You know,
They think
the
they're
whole hobby having 50.
they want to call the hoarder people because they think we're hoarders. Honestly, God, I think we're hoarders,
Fish
man.
hoarders.
They want to call it an intervention. Yeah.
So none of them like fish. None of your kids are into it.
The only one, you know, they'll look at them. I mean, they don't think they're ugly or nothing, but they're not real hip on them. The only one that's really crazy for them, like me and my wife crazy, is our grandson. He goes nuts when he sees them. So Danny and I have already, Danny and I have already come to the conclusion that the first one to die, the other one should probably think about starting to downsize the populations a little bit. For one, you know, this isn't a one-man job. This is what we're dealing with here on a daily basis. So, you know, if something happens to one or the other one's going to start gradually, you know, breaking stuff down and taking it to a more manageable level. So when, God forbid, the both of us are gone, the kids don't have to try to figure out how to get rid of all this that we've started, you know. Unless the grandson does, you know, gives us reason to believe he's going to take over, then we probably do it. Lori Fish, Monster Fish Gal, my plans are, I'm hoping to get that done in 2022. I want to do the East Coast tour.
Okay.
My goal on that
is to hit up some of the same places, or are you going to hit some of the same places, or just completely different?
No, it's going to be a completely different tour because I didn't hit too much on the East Coast, bro. I only hit Father Fish. I mean, if I go down from Maine and work my way down, there's a lot of fish tubers from Maine to Florida. So that's my goal, is to hit them all along that east side. So I'll do just like I did last time. Oh yeah, dude. I'm gonna make a.
Well, I normally don't like to keep myself
like that, brother. But you got to think ahead, man. I can't tell you how many people my age die all the time, bro. I'm a realist, man. One thing is guaranteed: our time on Earth was figured out a long time ago, bro. I can't control it, but should I die at an early age, we both know it's time to, at that point, start breaking down, man.
Oh yeah, being prepared. But you're not there. You're gonna be fine.
One thing I do assure everybody in this chat is fish tanks will give you more years on your life, guaranteed.
Well, I don't really like keeping people over an hour because I really appreciate people, you know, giving them an hour and everything. And we're coming towards the end.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, time goes quick. Definitely gonna have you again on the live stream. I gotta bring you back and everything.
Anytime,
bro. I appreciate your time. Now, on social media, where can they find you?
You can find us on, of course, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then that's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
That is it,
I'm
man.
the same way. I don't.
We will be opening up Daniken.
Now you definitely got to join.
Oh,
you definitely got to join our group on Facebook when you get a chance.
All right, dude. I'm in one fish tuber one. I didn't know about this one, so I'll go back. Or when we're done, go ahead and text that.
I started this group about 6 months ago. It's been growing now. You know, we're up to 200 already. It's been growing, but
I'm usually in the in on everything, and I haven't seen that one yet.
I try to keep the group more of a smaller group, but we get more out of it and everything because we really like to share videos, watch each other's videos, and help each other grow and everything. So it's a small little networking group. I thought it was pretty cool to start. So you said you're going to be starting your webpage soon. What you going to be selling online?
Oh, we will eventually, yeah. right now, Danny and I are, like I said, we just been taking our time. We want to make sure when we do go live, we've got the stock to fulfill everybody's needs. You know, last thing in the world you want to do is fire up and then run out of inventory, right? So we've been. I've already secured Daniken.com, Daniken.net, Daniken.shop. I secured every domain possible because a lot of times these pirates like to get out there. They see you got a company that's starting to go, and they go out there and snatch it, and hold you at ransom and try to get you for 10 grand and release it. So I did ahead of time.
A domain,
right? They try to hog it and basically blackmail you for your domain.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting to see and everything. You'll be able to get some fish from you one day, hopefully.
People can now. I do, when I get stuff, I'll stay on the YouTube channel. I've got some of these available. I've got a PayPal account. So, I mean, technically now you could get fish if you liked what you saw. People will ask me, are any of those available? I'll say sure, and I'll sell them that way. But I just don't actively advertise them. I've got a Get Gills account. I've never put a fish on. Like I said, we're still, we started letting our fish loose. Like, I hate if something happens to them. It's like losing one of my kids. Because most of these fish, you got to remember, we've raised this fry, so I don't want to hear that they died in the mail or they did this or they did that. So, and when it does happen, which you can't control things that aren't in your control. It really, really hurts you when you lose them.
Definitely, because I mean, shipping is tough. It's a tough thing to get into, and the second you hand over that package to the postal service, you lost control of that package.
We don't use them anymore. My wife works for Intel, so we got some pretty good hookups on another form of shipping. I do overnight. If I ship something at 3:30 in the afternoon from Oregon, it's almost anywhere in the United States by noon the next day. So that's the way we go for now. We're not even messing around with other avenues. I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but we had some bad experiences, and I lost some very good quality fish. It only takes once with me, and I'm done. I'm out.
Oh yeah, definitely. But again, Kenny, I appreciate you joining us for Wednesday Night Fish Talk. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Again, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to Kenny's channel, Daniken Aquatics, subscribe, hit him up on Instagram, Facebook, and that was all, right? You just do Instagram and Facebook? Yep.
That's it for now. Well, thanks a lot, bud. I appreciate you having me. As always, guys,
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you. Well, everybody have a blessed night.
Peace.